secrets are what? Secrets are your confidential information. See, when we talk about config map, so in config map, you are having the data which is non-sensitive data. Non-sensitive data means the data which if someone sees, it won't impact, or it is not confidential basically. But secrets are something which is confidential information. So for example, your auth tokens, your password, your SSH keys, your Docker registry credential, etc. Right? So, but you want to share with the pods, and you want to maintain a secret, right? So you want to keep that secret value somewhere into your into the Kubernetes, so that we can take the value, like in Azure. If you see, there is a key vault. In AWS we are having secret manager. So these are the services which are basically helping to keep your data securely or confidentially at some place. So same way in Kubernetes, if you are having a confidential information like your database connection string with the password, right, or something else which you want to keep it within the Kubernetes only, then you can use the Kubernetes secrets. So let us see how we can create those secrets. So what I'll do is same as config map only. The only difference is that here the secret is confidential, means there is one encoding algorithm which is basically used in the background, which is called base 64 algorithm. So that base 64 algorithm is the one which uh, applies on your secret, and it remains constant. There are different types of secrets also, which is the registry secret, and means if you are having a Docker image, and that image is in the private registry and you want to access it, right? So in that case, what you can do, you can have a secret which is the Docker configuration related. So, but here we will see a simple one, right, which is basically to store the data in base 64 uh, encoding algorithm. So what I'll do here, so first let me log in with the root user. Now if I say kubectl, and if I see the nodes, kubectl and get nodes. So let me first check everything is in the ready state or not. So I have 3 node cluster, 1 master and 2 worker nodes. Something went wrong on my master. I'm connected to my master. So it is saying, oh, something wrong. Maybe I need to wait. Okay, so this cluster always gives problem. Let me see the IP address. Its IP address is correct. Okay, fine. Let's wait. Sometimes it takes time. It's saying timeout. What's going on? Okay. Did you specify the right port? Okay, let me just check the configuration file. So if I say cat/root.kube and config. Okay, so what I will do, I will just replace this file with the original file, which is, if I say ls/etc/kubernetes and admin.config file. Okay, so this is there. So I will just copy this file and replace with slash root. So this is the configuration file, kube and config. Now let me try kubectl get nodes. Okay, now it is fine. Right? So one thing, this configuration file, this is basically if it get corrupted or something, then your Kubernetes cluster does not respond properly. So what I have done, I have just taken that a copy is always there under this directory admin.config. So I took that copy and just replaced that, this config, which is my configuration file, which we have discussed in last lecture, right? Last to last lecture. So now all the nodes are ready. For worker node, actually, I have added again. I have created a new virtual machine, and I just executed the Kubernetes related command and joined that into my cluster. So that's why it is showing in the ready state. Earlier, I have taken the clone of my worker one. That's why somehow it was linked with my worker one and it was not responding properly. So what I have done, I have created this worker 2 again as a new Ubuntu virtual machine. All right. Now, if I say kubectl and uh, get secret. So I want to see that in my default namespace, is there any secret? Yes, there is a secret, but that is for different purpose. So I have created that few days ago, but when you run this command, you will not find any secret. Okay, so we will create a secret now. So what I will do, I will create a secret in this way. I will go to my manifest directory, and here what I will do, I will create one. I will create one file. I'll say echo. Admin is the username, for example, and I want to put it under username.txt file. Okay. Same way, I will say echo, and I'm just putting some password, and that password I want to put it under the password.txt file. Okay. Now, next what I will do, I will create a secret. Kubectl create secret, and secret name I will say secret1, right? And by default it is of generic type. So generic type, as I mentioned, there is an algorithm base 64 encoding algorithm which is applied on your data. Okay, and we can put this generic before and secret one here. Okay, this is the name. And now what I will do, I will say the right. So now I will say the from file, and I want to use the file which is username.txt. And same way, from file which is password.txt. So secret one got created. Now, if I want to see this secret, so kubectl get secret. So you can see there is a secret one got created, which is having two data. Right? Now, if I say kubectl and describe secret and the secret name, which is secret one. Right? So here you can see secret one, and here you can see the key password.txt, username.txt, but you will not see the value. Okay, value is missing because it's a confidential information. So whenever you are storing the data inside the secret, it is considered as the confidential information, right? So right, so secret one, which is having username.txt and password.txt, right? So username.txt is having some value which is encoded. If you want to see that encoded value, you can see that. How we can see that? For example, get secret one, and if I say -o YAML. So here you can see there is some value password.txt. This is the encoded value. And username.txt, here also you can see some encoded value. But this is not the value which I have stored. So internally it has, what it has done, it has created this encoded value and mapped to my keys or data, which is password.txt and username.txt. Now I want to use this for my pod. So as I mentioned, you can also use the Visual Studio Code. So let me do one thing. Let me go to my Visual Studio Code, or you can use the reference from the Kubernetes documentation. I want to show you here because what I'll do, I will just create a folder first. So I'll say C colon. Okay. And what I will do, I will just create a folder called Kubernetes. Okay. And I'll just open that in Visual Studio Code. We open with PyCharm. Okay. All right. So I will open this folder. So I'll say file and open folder. And this is the folder. Right? So so here, this I will remove it, and I want to create a pod. So I will say pod. So let it load properly first. Actually, it will show the IntelliSense here. So this is created. Now what I want to do, my pod name will be I will say secret pod. Yeah. Label, fine, this is fine. Image. Right. So image, I will say Nginx. Right. This is the limit which we can container pod. Now, what I want to create a, so this, if you want to give port number 80. So what I want to do, I want to get the data from my secret. Okay. And I want to store it into my container. So for that, I will use volumes. Okay. And name of the volume. And here I will say so here I will say the secret. Let me just name of the secret, not like this. Syntax is not correct. Let me just quickly refer the syntax. So syntax is something like this. Volume secret. Yeah. So we need to just give the secret and the secret name, right? Secret name equals to our secret name is secret one, right? So here secret name and the name of the secret. Then I need to mention this volume mount into my container level. Right? So we can mention it here, volume mount. So name is the name of the volume mount is this one because I'm using this volume, right? And inside the container where you want to store, you can give any information. Say, for example, I'll say etc secret and read only value true. Okay, so I have this configuration. I will remove this for simplicity. I will remove the resources, which is not required for this example. Okay, so volume mount name, read only port, volumes, right? So I will copy this one and I'll go here and I will say vi and secret pod.yaml file. Okay. Now I will paste it here. Yes, everything looks fine to me. Alignment point of view also. And I will save this. Okay, now the data will be coming from your secret one. So I'll say kubectl and create -f secret pod.yaml file. Okay, something decoding unknown field specification.volume. Okay, something wrong. Volume. I think alignment is under specification pod level volume. So the right. So this is the volume and the just let me see name of the volume test volume. Right. So I think now it should be fine. Let me save this. Let me run this command again. Specification.volume. Right. Now it is created. Now if I say kubectl and get pods, so you can see there is a pod which is the secret pod app got created. Right. Now if I say kubectl and describe pod and the pod name is secret pod app. So here you can see my pod get created, and if you notice here that volume. Volume name is this one, and it is pointing to a secret. So type of the volume is a secret, a volume populated by the secret, right? And here also you can see this is the path where it is mounted. Means my data which was encoded on the secret level, it will be decoded automatically on the pod level. Okay, so let us see that one now. So this is the path. So now if I say kubectl and exec -it, my pod name is secret pod app. And if I say -" ls and that path which is etc secret. So here you can see there are two files which is username.txt and password.txt inside my pod. Now if I want to read this, I'll say cat and under secret and I will say username.txt. Okay, so you can see it is admin. Okay. So same way, if you want to see the value of password.txt, so you can see the value is password. Okay. So now the what is basically happened in the background, we were having this secret, and the secret is having two data. One is username.txt, one is password.txt. In username.txt, we were having value admin, and in password.txt, we were having value password. And I kept these values into my secret, and that get encoded with the base 64 algorithm. And then I just map it with I just mapped it with uh, you know my my pod. In the pod, I mentioned that volume, and volume is pointing to my secret, and secret is having this data. So similar way you can create the environment variable. So that exercise I will just give it to you. You need to try that one because it is similar to the config map. In the config map, we have used hyphen hyphen from literal. So same way, you just need to use the secret. The only difference is that there the information was non-sensitive, but here the information is sensitive. So secrets are mainly used for the sensitive information. Do you have any question?
No, sir. Clear.
So I'm deleting this secret, and now kubectl and delete pods. I want to delete all the pods. Now what you need to do on my notes, there are some examples are given. Let me give you one more example, which is related to the Docker configuration file. Okay. So now I have one. If I go to my um, let me go to my portal here. If I say hub.docker.com, right? So what I'm going to do, I'm just so there is a Docker image which is web app, and it is a public image. Let me first make it as a private image. Okay. So what I will do, I will just make this image as private. So I will go to the settings, and here I will change the visibility setting. Okay, some repositories already in private. Let me just see. Oh, this is private. Let me just delete this image first. Or make it public, which is my alpine image. So now this is public. Now I can make my other repository as private repository, which is my web app, right? So I will go here and I will go to the settings. And here I will give the visibility setting. I will make it private. Now this image is private. If it is private, then only I can access it because I am the owner. I don't have the collaborators here. So I can only get it. Now what I'm going to do here, I don't know whether I may means the owner of that particular because consider you are running this pod and you want to use that Docker image, but you cannot use it. So for example, if I say kubectl and run pod 1 with the image, and my image name is Raman Sharma 95 / web. So when I'm trying to use this, you will see kubectl get pod. It will throw the error that it is unable to access that image. Why? Because this is private. So now kubectl delete pod 1. I'm deleting this. Now I want to use this. So I can use this with the help of the secret. So let us see. This is the environment variable example that you need to try by yourself. So Docker registry configuration. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to create a Docker registry type. Earlier I have used generic. Now it is Docker registry. So I'm creating a secret which is called the pull secret, and type is Docker registry secret. What I want to do, I want to give the username, right? So my username is Raman Sharma 95 and the password, Docker password. I think we can use the token also. And to create the token, I can go here and token. Just a second. Here we will see the token is not here. If I go to the settings, default token is here somewhere, repository. Under my profile, it should be there. Oh, where is that token part is gone? Just a second, let me just check that one. It will be in the settings somewhere. Okay, so under settings, right, and visibility setting, active repository delete,
Token
it's
remains
not
same
here.
or it will change after some time. Token remains same or it will change after
Your
some
voice
time.
is very low.
Hello. Hello. Am I audible, sir?
So what's this? So I'll check in the general settings. In the general setting tags. Okay. Oh my God. I use most of the time. Where is it? Was on the front. Webhook collaborators. Where is the user settings? Go here, my account settings. Yeah, personal access token. Okay. So here I will generate a token. Token name, I will say new token something, right? And I want to give the read and write and delete, or maybe read only access is fine. But this is my public repo read only. No, this is read only access. Okay, read only access is fine. Generate. So what I'll do, I will use this. This is my token. I will copy this token, right? And here I will say password equals to that token. Okay. So I have created this secret, right? Now, if I say kubectl and get secret, so here you can see there is a pull secret get created, which is of Docker configuration JSON, right? And it has only one data, which is my this data. Right? Now, next, what I want to do, I want to create a pod, and I want to use image pull secret, and this image pull secret will refer to my secret, right? And I want to use my Docker image. So let us try this. So I'll say vi docker pod. I'll name it as dockerpod.yaml file. And here I will just name it as dockerpod full secret, and name is fine. And here image I will use my Docker image, which is Raman Sharma 95 / web app. Okay. This command, if you want to execute, fine. Otherwise, say no kubectl and create -f docker pod.yaml file. Docker pod get created. Let us see kubectl get pods. So see, now it is not giving that error, pull error, right? It is in the creating state because it has to download that Docker image. We will run watch and kubectl and get pod. So it is creating. Let's wait for this. Okay. Now it is in the running state. See, now this time it worked. How it worked? Because I stored the information about this username and password into my pull secret. Do you understand this?
Yes, so clear.
Yeah. So yeah. So this is how we use the secret. Right. So now Control C. Let me delete this pod. Kubectl delete pod. I will delete my pod. And I will delete my secret as well. All right. So this is all about the secret. Now, next topic, which I want to discuss with you. Let me just see that one. So we have discussed this secret. Mm, let me talk about something called service account. Okay. So what is the purpose of service account? Again, that notes is not here, but because I see that topic service account, so I just want to discuss that also. So let me go to the service account concept. See, basically what happens whenever you are creating a pod, right? So that pod is having a service account, default service account. So service account is basically how your pod is communicating to different processes. For that means port to port communication, right? Port to API server communication. So all these things happens by using the service account. So service account. Okay, what happened? So, okay, 1 second, some error on this page. Uh, service account is here for DevOps. Okay, this is my blog actually. Right. So service account, it provides the identity for the processes that run in a pod and access the Kubernetes cluster using kubelet command and authenticated by the API server. Okay. So any process which is running inside the pod, how it will communicate to the API server. So that will be done by the service account. Okay. The processes that are running inside the pod also contact to the API servers using service account. So there is always a service account there, right? So we will see that one, right? So actually, this is not the correct page. Just give me 1 second. I will modify this into my blog. Right. So pages, and here I will search for the service account. So now right? So this is the one. So now, for example, I'm creating a pod. So I'll say kubectl run pod1 with the image nginx. Okay, so pod get created. Now, if I say kubectl and get pod1 or describe pod1. Okay, so I'm describing the pod1. Now here you can see there is something given, which is the service account equals to default. So within the pod, if processes wants to communicate with the API server, then it is done through this default service account. So process to API server communication through service account. Now, if there is no service account, you cannot, your processes will not be able to communicate to the API server, and you cannot access the resources in the Kubernetes inside the pod. So this is required. And if I search kubectl and get service account, so there is a service account. This is for some other purpose, but this is the default service account is created. If you want to create a service account, kubectl and create service account, say app service account. So I have created one service account called app service account. But how this service account will be helpful? For example, you want that you want to create a deployment or maybe daemon set, right? And you want that if we use this service account, the one which I have created, it will have that permission to create that uh, service account. Okay, so that can be possible if you give the some roles and bind that roles to the service account. Okay, so it will be make more sense when I just show you the example. Okay, so let me just do one thing, kubectl delete, and actually you can create by using get minus hyphen try run equals to client. So minus o YAML. So you can basically kubectl, sorry, not get create command hyphen try run equals to client minus o YAML. So you can see the YAML, with the YAML you can create service account with this script. Fine. Let me delete kubectl and delete service account, which is the app service account, right? So this is deleted. Now what I want to do, I want to take one example. In this example, you have been asked to create a new cluster role for deployment pipeline and bind it to the specific service account, scoped specific namespace. So service account is specific to the namespace. So what I want to do, I want to create a cluster role. So role is nothing like, if you remember in the role-based access control, when we have created a user, and for that user, we had given the permission, right? That is the role-based access. But here we are not creating the user. We are creating a service account so that with the help of that service account, we can give the permission. So here you can see create a cluster role. So cluster role is a permission, and cluster role binding is that binding that role to the service account. So create a cluster role which allows you to create the following types: deployment, stateful set, daemon set. Create a new service account named CI/CD token in existing namespace app team1. So first what we will do, we will create this namespace. So I will say kubectl and create namespace, and namespace is app team1. Right? Now bind the cluster role. So I need to create a cluster role. So how do you know what are the different cluster roles? Kubectl get cluster roles. Right? So when you run this, so you will see that there are many cluster roles are already defined. One of them is the admin cluster role. Right? So what it is having the admin permission, full permission. Likewise, there are uh, other roles are defined, right? But I want to define my own cluster role. So kubectl create cluster role. Name of the cluster role I'm giving deployment cluster role, and I want to create resources. Means I want to give the permissions in this to create deployment stateful set, daemon set under the namespace, the one which I have created. So let me copy this and run it here. So, okay. So actually there is a space here. So cluster role get created, and the name of the cluster role is deployment cluster role. Now if I say kubectl get cluster role and deployment hyphen cluster role. Cluster role. Right? So this cluster role get created. Now, what I want to do, I want to, you can describe this also. So at this moment, you can see it has the resources daemon set, deployment set, stateful set, and the verb means permission we had given, which is create. Okay. You can give create, delete, get, right? So such kind of verb. So I had given only the create permission. Right. Now, I want to create a token, service account, CI/CD token under the app team one namespace. So this is created. Create service account, CI/CD token, namespace app team one. So now this is created. You can see that one. Now I want to see if I use, now what I want to do, I want to create a cluster role binding where I will say that my cluster name of this cluster role binding is this one. And I want to attach cluster role, which is the deployment cluster role, with my service account, which is CI/CD token under the namespace team1. Okay, so let us try this. Right, so cluster role binding is created. kubectl get cluster role binding. Right, so here you will see that our cluster role binding. Okay, we can give the name, which is deployment cluster role binding. So cluster role binding. So this role binding got created, right? You can describe this if you want. Now I want to check if I use this service account, whether I will be able to create the deployment or not, right? So here first I want to check kubectl auth. Can I get the deployment? So it should return not, means because I have given the create permission, not the get permission. But if I say whether I can create the deployment with this service account, the answer is yes. Right. So what we have done, we have created a service account. We bind that service account to a cluster role. In the cluster role, we have mentioned that there is a, in the cluster role, we have mentioned that there is a create permission, create verb for deployment, daemon set, and deployment, and one more was there, right? Stateful set. So then after we have seen whether if I use this service account into my pod creation, or with this service account, if I use for the deployment, whether the deployment will be created or not, and it returns yes. Okay. And when I say get permission, I have not given. So this type of service account question, it comes under again the system, means Kubernetes administrator part. Do you have any question?
No, sir, clear.
Yeah, just go through this, and right. Now we will see the Kubernetes dashboard. Now service account, we know cluster. There is a cluster role which is called the admin cluster role, which has the full permission. Right? But before talking about the Kubernetes dashboard, let us first talk about the helm. In the helm, we will see the how we can use the or how we can create a Kubernetes dashboard. What is helm? Helm is a package manager. Okay, helm is a package manager. Like for example, you are having your application code and you want to deploy it on the somewhere, right, on some server. So you create a package. So same way, consider I have hundreds of files for my Kubernetes project, and I want to apply or implement those things. Now to apply those things, what I will do, I will put them into a package, and that package is called the Helm package, right? So now, right. So Helm is a package manager for Kubernetes. It helps you to install the application using Helm charts. Charts means package. Like you want to create Prometheus, Grafana, Nginx. So all those charts are already available. No? Benefit is that means you can package all your implementation into a single Helm package or chart. So what you need to do, you can install the Helm. So this is the Helm installation. You just need to run this command on your master server, and Helm will be installed. Okay, it is installed. How do you verify that? You can run the
What is the
Helm
purpose of Helm?
and version command. So it is telling me Helm 3.20.1 version is installed on your system. Right.
So,
Now,
what is the purpose of Helm?
manual installation not required. And this is in Ubuntu, we can run this command also. So either way, whichever way you think that it is suitable to you, you can use that. Right. Now, there are many charts or packages are already available. And if it meets with your requirement, then what you can do, you can use those. You can use those packages also. There is something which is called Bitnami Helm charts. So here you can see there are many predefined Helm charts are defined already there. Install Helm chart, and there is a this is a GitHub repository. Okay, this page is not working. Okay, so like that, they are having these Docker images, but charts are also available. I don't see here. Okay, so actually there are some charts or some packages are already there. We can see through the command line also. So if I say, for example, I'll go to the next page, create the Helm charts. So earlier there was a stable repository, which was this. So this is a remote repository, see, HTTPS, and you want to use their charts into your uh, Helm repository. You can use that. So this is a remote repository. Let me add this remote repository. Right. So what it is doing, it is adding a repo called stable, and it is pointing to this particular. Now see, as I mentioned, this is not a valid one. Now get it. So they are saying get it from. Okay. So looks like this URL is no more exist. So we will see some other one. We will see the Bitnami one, this one. So let us check this one. So what I'm going to do, I will add this Bitnami charts, bitnami.com/Bitnami. So it is checking whether it's a, yeah, so this is added. Now I can run a command helm and repo list. So it will show that there is a Bitnami. Earlier I have added this, so you can ignore these two for now. Now there is a Bitnami. So this is the chart, right? This is the URL. Now what I can do, I can search in my repo, which is, I'll say helm and search repo Bitnami. It will show all the charts or packages which are available in this remote repository. And if I want to use any of that chart, so I can use that one. So here you can see it is showing all the charts which are available or packages which are available. Now, for example, there is a Bitnami chart which is called Bitnami Apache. I want to use this one. So I'll say helm install. If I say helm list, it will show all the packages which are installed on your local system. So as of now, there is nothing. Now, if I say helm installed, my package name, I will call it as Apache package, right? And I want to use this Bitnami Apache. So what it will do now, it will go to my Bitnami Apache Helm chart and download whatever is required, means its pods, services, etc. Everything will be. So here what it is saying, fetch the reference in the server. Okay, so timeout and just see. Helm install Apache. Yeah, I have think Helm install. This is Apache Bitnami, Apache only. Right? We'll try one more time. So something which is okay, so it is not using that, means we'll see some other example then. Because I'm using the local system, that's why, it is taking a little bit time to reach to the server. But if you use the AWS or Azure machine, those are on the internet. So they respond fast as compared to your local system. So fast. Okay. Because it has to reach to that particular Vietnamese website and get those chart details. So earlier it was executed fast, right? So we can take a simple chart. Take which one? Maybe Apaches. We have Airflow is data engineering. Okay, so we will do one thing. This Helm part we will start tomorrow because looks like my system is very slow. It is working, but we are getting that timeout error. So timeout error, I will just when we'll start from very beginning. So it will be very fast, but at this moment, oh, now it worked. So you can see now it is installed, right? So you can see Helm install Apache. Now if I say Helm and list, so you can see Apache is installed. It means Apache service and everything is installed. How do you know? So if I run a command kubectl and get all, so you will see here, see there is the Apache pod get is in the init state. There is a service which is called Apache service get created. See, Apache service get created. You can see a replica set get created, a deployment get created. I have not created that. Who has created? With the Helm, because that package already have all those details. Now, if I say curl and if I take, this service, right? It runs at port number 80. Okay, looks like my Apache. Okay, it is giving some error. That get all. Okay, it is showing some error image pull. So we need to wait because it has to download that HTTP image. So if I say watch and kubectl get port, right? So it is showing image pullback of error, means maybe the image is not accessible or maybe timeout is happening. There could be any reason. We can check that one. So what I will do, I will take this pod and I will say kubectl describe pod and the pod name. So here you can see fail to pull the image, which is this one. So it is unable to. But if the image is correct and everything is fine, then it will run this pod and through service we can access it. So this is the Helm chart, right? So which is already means Apache is already, I have not created. That's why I cannot means I can change this image once it is downloaded on my local system. But what we will do, we will create our own Helm package. Okay, and that we will do it tomorrow, right? Because today we have already discussed so many things. Secrets we have discussed, service account we have discussed, and a part of this Helm chart also we have discussed. Okay, so we will continue this discussion tomorrow. All right.
Am I audible?
Thank you.